On this episode of True, Accurate, Honest Portrayals of Stories That Actually Happen to People, two college students find the perfect house, but soon they discover not everything is what it seems.
What are your names?
I'm Sam.
I'm Beth.
We met our freshman year of college. We just had one class together, but we immediately became friends, and we knew we wanted to live together.
We knew we wanted to live in a house, not an apartment or a duplex, because we just like the way it feels.
Yeah, houses are more comforting, more homey. There's a more spiritual feel about them, which we really like.
At first, nothing was weird. It was just a really pretty house, and we had fun decorating it, and didn't notice anything weird.
Things started going missing.
Yeah, I remember I had this sweater that I really liked, and this like crop top with pancakes on it.
Our food started going missing too.
This is creepy. Listen to this.
One day, I made a bowl of popcorn, kettle corn, and so I got a call from my mom, so I just left the popcorn on the table and went into the other room.
And she was the only one alone. She was home alone.
Beth was in class, and I came back and the popcorn was missing.
Our little dog, Liz, is super, super sweet. Usually, when I'm leaving, Liz gets really excited and jumps because she thinks I'm taking her on a walk. But this time she was sitting in the corner. So I went over to her, I was petting her, and then all of a sudden, just like that, she disappeared out the door, and I followed her down to the basement, and she just started going hysterical, barking like crazy at nothing. And I was like, this is really, really weird. This is really spooky. So I was doing laundry one day in the basement, like I always do. And
are you always the one to do laundry?
Yeah. So I was downstairs doing laundry, and I accidentally knocked over the detergent. And so I was trying to clean it all up, and I was pushing boxes aside and stuff. And I found this this big knife. I obviously called Sam down to look at it.
Then that's when the lights went weird.
Yeah, so we went down the hall to investigate further, and none of the lights were working. So I called the landlord, and then he came, and there was an incident.
So my uncle Robert, who owns this land business, sends me out to go look at this place called the Treeview property. And so I was like, what's the issue? And he was like, all the lights in the basement aren't working correctly. And so I was like, I'll check it out. Basements are scary, and I'm a big, strong man. And so I was like, I'll just go make sure everything's all right, just take care of the situation. Yeah.
So, can you just give me a play-by-play of what happened, maybe?
Okay, well, I had gotten there and no one was home. They were probably at class, they're college kids. And I went into the basement down this staircase. It's pretty sketchy. It's old wood. Am I gonna fall through? I don't know. But I was going to check out the circuit breaker, and on the way I was like, damn, I'm thirsty. And so I pull out of my fanny pack my trusty cherry Coke, because who doesn't have a cherry Coke on hand? A maniac, right? And so I check out the circuit breaker, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm like, I don't know what the issue is, but then I remember that there's a fuse box at the other end of the basement. So I go over there, and then I see this man. He was wearing these weird boxers that could have been unisex, but he was wearing this kind of weird skinny top, and then this odd almost cashmere sweater, but not cashmere. Well, I was kind of jazzed out, what's going on, right? I'm like, who are you? And he's like, oh, I live here. I was like, that wasn't the question, but you obviously don't live here, right? He doesn't. I know who lives there. And so he starts to come at me, tensions were rising, and I don't know why he started to come at me, because I looked really good and strong in this really tight shirt. But I had just gotten my black belt in karate, and so I was like, I know what I can handle. And he's probably 6'8", 6'9" or something, so nothing I couldn't handle, right? So he starts to come at me, and I'm dodging all of his attacks with no issue because of my incredible agility and strength. And then I start doing some just simple tricks backflips and wall flips, and it's just normal stuff. And so he starts to realize who he's dealing with. And then he starts to just haul ass up the stairs and out, but I'm like, you're not gonna get away. I'm incredibly strong and incredibly fast. And so I start to chase him down this alleyway once he gets out of the house, and then he drops one of his precious little yellow slippers, and then he comes back for it. And I was like, this ain't no Cinderella, bitch. And then I just sock him right in the mouth, and he grabs my fanny pack. Like, what kind of man grabs another man's fanny pack? And I look him straight, I grab his head in my hand, and I go, don't touch the fanny. And then I rear back and I just sock him right in the mouth, and he goes down cold, like he is unconscious, maybe dead. And I'm like, holy shit, like I am a karate beast. And then I called the cops, obviously, because that's what I have to do, and I like zip tied him so he couldn't get away. But like that's not important. Like the important thing is I knocked him the fuck out.
Johnny and the cops told us that there was a homeless man who had been living in our basement, and he had been taking our clothes, eating our food. He got mad when we found his knife, and that's why the lights weren't working. He had unscrewed all the bulbs.
I don't know if like lethal injection is something that they do for trespassers, but like maybe they do it for cross-dressers. I don't know.
He could have done anything to us down there.
Yeah, I mean, he had that knife, and I mean, who knows?
You should always lock your doors and always check your basement.
We moved out to a new, like, nicer place, no basement.
There's a security guard in the lobby of the building, so no one can get in or get out unless you have a special card. And
deadbolts, chain locks.
Rent is a lot more expensive, but we think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to hear my side of the story? I'm the bad guy. I was evicted. You know, if I had a nickel for every time I was caught in somebody's basement, I wouldn't be homeless. If you would have asked me 3 years ago, would I be in this position? I would say absolutely not, you know? But if you asked me 2 years ago, well, I'd already be in the basement. Okay, but seriously, are you guys gonna give me my knives back? People have been calling me a creep, okay? But would a creep live in somebody's basement for 2 years? No. So, yeah, that's the story. That's all I got. Any of you got like $6? Because I need to take the bus home, so.
Sir, you're going to jail.
Jail? Does it look like I'm going to jail?